Hello guys and welcome back to Haymanager with me Alex, and today we'll be looking at my team and how I'm going to set up after this international break. So we'll look at the international fixtures and, well, the results that have been. And there's been quite a few good games this, international break. 4-0 for Italy against Estonia was an outstanding win, and then Netherlands played Spain where it was a 1-1 draw. Portugal beat Andorra 7-0, and then France lost to Finland in a surprise result. England beat Republic of Ireland but lost to Belgium. Portugal then beating Croatia 3-2, Ruben Diaz with a brace in that game. France beat Sweden 4-2. Spain absolutely thrashed Germany 6-0 in a surprising big defeat. Belgium then beat Denmark 4-2, and England beat Iceland 4-0. So we'll look through some of these games, some of the players that you should probably put into your side in this game week, but also my side in particular. So I've sort of had a bit of a reshuffle around which players I believe should be playing this game week. And yeah, starting in the net, I'm going to have Martinez, just because he plays Brighton. I think Aston Villa can sort of keep up the form they're in. Chilwell then sits in the defence alongside Maguire and Digne. Maguire playing very well for England. I've put him into my side, as well as the fact that he played a great game for Manchester United just before the international break. Zaha, Rashford, Barkley, Ziyech and Son all within my midfield. Son have brought in instead of, I believe, Che Adams, since they do play Wolves away from home, but I think Son might be able to do a bit of magic against this Manchester City side, but we'll have to see about that. Rashford, my captain, he does play against West Brom. He hasn't played in this international friendlies break, and I think he will start. He just needs to get that level of fitness up. And then up front, Calvert-Lewin as well as Harry Kane, who again plays Manchester City and slowly start to get rid of these Tottenham players. But yeah, I think this side is going to be my best side. On the bench, McCarthy, just because he plays Wolves, I've got him on the bench. And as I said, Che Adams on the bench as well, playing away to Wolves. Justin on the bench, as Leicester do play away from home to Liverpool, which could be a surprise result, but we'll have to see. And then Mitchell, who is currently injured and also lost 0.1 of his value, is also sat on the bench as well. Some of the players you should probably think about putting in your team now, and I've got a few little nice players that you should probably consider. So we'll start off first of all with the most recent game, which is where England won 4-0 against Iceland, and Phil Foden, who had an absolute stunner of a game, played fantastic football. He played absolutely fantastic football. 2 goals from outside the box. I think if anything, he's probably a nice little pickup for you. I believe, let me just double check how much he costs again. I've got it on my screen here, won't be a second. Phil Foden does indeed cost 6.5 million for your side, but he's definitely worth the investment. Definitely worth the investment overall. I think you'll find that he's probably going to be a player that comes off the bench quite a bit, but can potentially start a few games if he does find form, obviously replacing that David Silva sort of role. But City themselves probably need Foden to try and score a few goals for their side. Then I'm going to move on to Jack Grealish, who in the game against Belgium actually came out as probably the best player of that match. He did get man of the match on the BBC website, 7.38 average rating. Apparently he ran the show. I didn't actually get to catch that game. But yeah, Jack Grealish, a great little player to pick up as well. I believe he's in and around £7.5 million to pick up as well. So not a bad price. As well as that, Aston Villa have a nice run of fixtures, so he's definitely probably a player that you should put into your sides. Moving on from there, we shall now move on to other nations, and Ferran Torres picked up an absolutely outstanding hat-trick against Spain. Can't really fault anything that he did in that game, and for 6.9 million, he should genuinely start against Tottenham after this great bit of form he's been in. Can't see why anyone else would start ahead of him, especially for how fast he is to break against this Tottenham side, and also how great he is and clinical he seems to be inside the box at the moment. Moving on from that, we'll go to the Netherlands, and Wijnaldum actually picks up a brace for the Netherlands, and I think himself is quite an underrated player really. When he was at Newcastle, he played fantastic football, scored a lot of goals for them, played a bit more of an attacking midfielder role. But whilst at Liverpool, he sort of sits in a midfield 3, sits a bit further back, lets Salah and everyone else sort of tick in their sort of side. But Wijnaldum, a nice little player to pick up, maybe to put into your sides, only 5.3 million as well, sitting as one of the lowest sort of price ranges that you can sort of get in the actual FPL database. So yeah, nice little pickup as well for your side if you need another central midfielder, or maybe thinking about getting someone in who's in great form. And then finally we'll go to the big pick, which is of course Timo Werner scoring yet again for Germany, 2 goals in the win against Ukraine where they won 3-1. And he just looks a great player. He looks to be picking up a bit of form for Chelsea. He does still occasionally drift out onto that left-hand side, and he might not be able to sort of play against these more physical sides. He's probably just still trying to get up to steam with the physical demands of the Premier League. So yeah, they're going to be the 3 players that I recommend, well, 5 players that I recommend to put into your sides. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whereabouts we should end up next game week. I think my team needs a genuine reshuffle, but hopefully your teams are all doing fantastic. So yeah, that has been me, Alex. If you did indeed like the video, leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Let me know if you're still liking this fantasy football sort of stuff. Let me know where I can sort of expand a bit further. And yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this episode. I shall catch you in the next one. Ciao.